Started using public land next to my house and my new neighbors completely lost it. So my wife and I bought this piece of land 3 years ago and just finished building our house a few months back. We're on a corner lot in this new neighborhood that used to be farmland. Right next to our property is this big empty space that belongs to the city council. It was supposed to be a road, but they never built it. The land just sits there about half an acre with grass and trees and an old tire swing. Here's where it gets interesting. The house on the other side of this empty land has a fence that goes across the front of it. Some old owner from way back decided to just fence off this public land and use it like it was theirs. The city knows about it but doesn't care enough to do anything. The people who lived there before had chickens and ducks running around on it. They'd been there for 12 years using this land like it was part of their property. But here's the thing, it's not their property. It's public land that nobody was using. When I found out they were moving, I waited until they left. Then I took down this old wire fence on my side that was on my property and started letting my kids play in the space. There's so much room to run around, and that tire swing is perfect for them. A few weeks later, the new owner showed up. This couple who just bought the house next door. The first time they saw my kids playing in the empty lot, the wife came charging across the field, screaming at me, like full-on running and yelling about how we were trespassing on their property. I just stood there and said, "This isn't your property. This is city land." She got even more angry and said the previous owners had used it for years and we had no right to be there. She literally told me to get off their land immediately. I explained that it's public property and neither of us owns it. She stormed off back to her house. Later that day, she came back and apologized for screaming, but said we still shouldn't be using the land because it had always belonged to whoever lived in her house. Her husband came over the next day and tried a different approach. He was all calm and reasonable, saying how every owner of their house for decades had exclusive access to this land. He asked why I waited until the previous owner left to start using it, like I was being sneaky or something. I told him straight up I wasn't going to tell someone who was already living there to stop using public land. But once they left, the land was fair game. We actually owned our property longer than they've owned theirs. We moved in first, and we started using the space before they even bought the house. He said, "That's not how it works, and that tradition matters. That all the previous owners had an understanding, and we were breaking that." I said, "Tradition doesn't give you legal rights to public property. The city owns this land, not them." The wife started putting up no trespassing signs on the fence. I took them down because you can't put no trespassing signs on public property. She put them back up. I took them down again. Then they threatened to call the city council on me. I said, "Go ahead, because when the city shows up, they're going to ask why there's an illegal fence on public land. That fence they're using to claim the space, completely against the rules." They backed off after that, but they give us dirty looks every time we're outside. My kids ask why the neighbors don't like us. I just tell them some people think they own things that don't belong to them. The other neighbors behind us all put up proper fences on their property lines so they can't access the land. I'm leaving my side open so we can still use it. If these new neighbors try anything else, I'm prepared to call the city myself and have them remove that illegal fence across the front.